Okay, good morning, Mr. George, and thank you for taking the time out of your schedule
My pleasure.
to talk to us about what life's like as an MP. So basically, the first thing we want to know is, why did you run for state politics? What's your passion to do what you do?
The reason I ran for politics was that it was out of sheer frustration of country and regional areas missing out. And I thought, when I was approached, I thought I'd give it a go to see if I could make a difference in the representation of my electorate of Lismore.
And what did you first envision the role of an MP to be when you first set out on this task?
Well, I always believed right from day one that it was to represent the needs of the electorate of Lismore.
And has your views of this job changed since you started?
No, that is my priority. The electorate that I represent is to certainly represent the needs and be able to speak for our community, the community I represent.
And what's the event or the achievement that you're most proud of during your time as an MP?
It's not the bricks and mortar that are the achievements. It's the support and help you provide to families that are in need at the time, because when they come to me, it's at the end of the line. They're totally frustrated, totally disappointed in the system, and to be able to communicate those needs is an achievement, a greater achievement to me personally than the bricks and mortar.
Okay then. How do you balance your responsibilities between, obviously, your role as a local MP, which you're very passionate about, and your responsibilities to the state as a member of the legislature?
Again, I have no issues with that. Representing the needs of the electorate certainly coincide on a lot of occasions with the needs of the state. However, in the broader issues that affect the whole of state, the representing the seat of Lismore usually assists me in making that decision.
What role do you think the media play in our public policy discussions, and what are some of the advantages and the disadvantages that you've experienced from the media?
Well, the media certainly play a role. You know, it's common knowledge that usually question time is around what we've read in the papers or heard in the media that morning. A lot of the times, that becomes the topic for question time that day. However, the media do play a part, but I don't believe they control the whole workings of Parliament.
What kind of feeling do you get when you stand up in the chamber as a representative of your people and your electorate?
One of being proud of the achievements of the electorate, one of being proud of what the community represents, and it is an honour to be able to do that, to be able to stand up in Parliament and express what the electorate of Lismore has achieved.
Have there ever been any moments where you've found it difficult to make a decision where your personal beliefs are different to those of your party?
At times it does get difficult. However, as a member of the Nationals, you always get the opportunity to express your concerns, debate the issue prior to the party making the decision of what decision we take forward. And it's usually you've been offered the opportunity to be able to put those concerns forwards, or express your disappointment, or express your support for a particular policy. And on social issues where it becomes a conscience vote, I have no problems in coming to those decisions, because at the end of the day, the buck stops with me with my decision.
Have you had any major disappointments in your political career, and how have you overcome these to continue on with your role?
I think the major disappointment that I've had, if I have had any, would be the way that people become personal over state issues and want to personally attack a member of Parliament rather than try and attack the policy or the way the policy was arrived at, where members of the public have no respect for the individual and just attack the individual, whether it be an MP or his staff. That is a disappointment to me, that people just can't accept the policy as a policy and get personal rather than trying to view it in its whole need for the whole of policy need for this state.
And has that ever made you disenchanted with politics?
No, but it disappoints you. It disappoints you when people do get personal, and let me tell you, they do. They get very, very personal, and you know, I've even had personal threats to my own staff, in terms of or personal abuse to my own staff over a government policy, and sometimes a policy that's been put in place not by our government but by previous governments, but yet the people don't respect that. And to me, that is very, very disappointing, and one of the most disappointing experiences I've had since being representative of the state member for Lismore.
And how do you overcome this? How do you get up the next morning and just power on?
Oh, you do, because you know that on a personal note, I have no problems with fronting up the next day, because I know that I am doing the right thing as far as I'm concerned. I've given it my best shot, and I am more than happy to express the needs of the opponents as well as the supporters of any particular policy.
And finally, Mr. George, what message do you have for our youth parliamentarians on what life's like as an MP?
Well, the advice that I would have is to, before you become a member of parliament, is to get some real life experience before you become a member of parliament. Because at the end of the day, it's not the degree that will help you. It'll help you in making decisions. However, the life experience, the true life experience, will also support you in making the proper decision.
Yeah. Parliamentarians, who obviously many of them are still in high school, how do you think their experience of standing in the Legislative Assembly and being a youth member of Parliament will contribute to their personal development?
Well, I'm sure it will contribute to their development, because anyone of my era never had that opportunity. It is a unique opportunity that is provided to the young people of today, and people will, the members of the Youth Parliament will have an experience that they would never have dreamed of 20 years ago, and they should take the opportunity, respect the opportunity, and I am sure that they will learn from this where they want to go in their future life, and it will be a great experience for them that will support them.
Obviously, community advocacy and really getting your message out there and learning the issues that are in your community are important. What message would you give our youth MPs at how they're best to go about this?
Well, the people that are selected to come to the Youth Parliament, you know, it's no good them coming down here and not speaking to their students or their local community. They need to make contact with their local community to understand what the problems and the issues are, and then try and bring those issues forward as part of their contribution to the Youth Parliament. Because without that experience, and it's probably the life experience that I spoke about earlier, that it does help you in being able to stand up and say, well, I spoke to a student the other day that couldn't get to school because his school bus didn't turn up. He can then speak, or he or she then can speak on that experience. But you just can't learn all about it out of a book, and you need to be able to talk to fellow students, the community, to be able to obtain that experience of what is happening within the community, to be able to reiterate that and reinforce those points in the debate in the Youth Parliament.
And how do you think our youth MPs are best to go about that? Is it through the media, or is it really through one-on-one experiences?
I think both. I'm sure that the media, well, in the electorate of Lismore, the media do support the youth that do get selected to come to Youth Parliament, but it's also up to that particular student to be able to go out and get their own ideas and talk to their fellow students and the community to be able to get that experience and that advice on the problems and the issues that everyone faces in their everyday life, to be able to express that in the debate here in Parliament.